Hello everyone, welcome back Slides to Coasters podcast. My name, of course, is Brad Water Parker, joined once again by one of my very good friends and Florida man, Andrew. Andrew, if you want to say hello.
Hello.
A Florida native who was originally a part of the Indiana Hoosier State.
Well, I was originally a Floridian and spent some time in about 10 years in Indiana.
Yep. So, Andrew has a lot of experience with Indiana parks. More explicitly, he has a lot of experience with Indiana Beach. A park that we're going to be talking about
every
today.
Year to go.
Yeah. Andrew, kind of to preface this for a second, Indiana Beach is getting a brand new Schwarzkopf next year, right? And what we're going to talk about today, this year, I'm sorry, not next year, it's 2021 now. Jeez. Today what we're going to talk about are the top 5 things we'd like to see come to Indiana Beach. If you guys don't know already, we do have a top 5 things show for Kings Island already. We're going into each area of the park, adding 5 things. We're going to round out at the end, talking about 5 things we'd like to see for the whole entire park. But that's something that we're going to do for larger parks. However, for smaller parks like Indiana Beach, we're going to do this in one show where we're going to talk about 5 things we'd like to see come to Indiana Beach. Now, Andrew, I think we can preface this by saying we are not going to talk about any major uplifts or overhauls in this show. We are mainly focusing on attractions for this show. I know that usually we try to go for like food additions or renovations. But for this kind of park, for this occasion, we're going to try to look more at the ride side of things instead of the traditional overall that we usually do. But to preface this, Andrew, you have a lot of experience with the park. How do you feel about the current operations with Mr. Staples? Gene Staples bought the park. He's putting in a...
Way better than what it was before. I'd tell you that much.
He cares. Yeah, he went and overhauled a lot of the coasters and really put a lot of love and TLC back into the park. He's very active. He commented on one of our previous videos. And as well, he's adding attractions that are classic. Adding a classic Schwarzkopf to the parking lot. That's something that I'm personally
excited. I guarantee you that a lot of coaster enthusiasts to be like, well, bring it on.
Yeah.
They'll be coming to the park that way.
Yeah. Which, just for us in particular, I see a very promising future with this park.
The question becomes, with Schwarzkopf coming, how would it rank with the coaster enthusiast? Because it's supposed to be one of the most intense rides in the world.
Well,
that's going to be fascinating.
We're going to have to find out. We're definitely going to have to find out. But today what we're going to talk about are the top 5 things we like to see come to Indiana Beach. Now, Andrew, I think it's best for you to start off with number 5 because this is something that you were talking about before that they originally took out and something that you really missed, that you really would like to come back. Taking with the classic feel of the park, what's our number 5?
Number 5 would be... Well, they used to have a growlers, which is kind of like a teacup, but it's suspended in the air. And it was free spinning. Oh, my word. When we did it, it was spinning a minute after the ride stopped. They took that out and sold it. They need to bring something like that back for the family, and you can make it your own style of ride, essentially. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and attractions like that, small, flat rides, I believe, in my opinion, are the best way to go. Especially for a park like Indiana Beach. They have a very interesting lineup to begin with. They've got a lot of classic attractions. They just got a Tilt-A-Whirl from Coney Island, which I'm very pleased with, by the way. They've got a Sky Ride, they got a Scrambler. They got a lot of these classic attractions that really evokes just the antique and the Americana of the park. So I think that most definitely having something like a classic flat ride, either having something like we were talking about, a suspended teacup, or having a classic teacup ride. Maybe create a little platform out on the lake, so that way it's more the boardwalk feel. I think that would be perfect for the park and the way that they're moving with it. Moving on to our number 4 here, Andrew. This is something that I would like to see. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I love these attractions. I love this flat ride style. I ride every single one I can find. I believe we rode the one over in Dollywood too. An S&S Scream and Swing. I would love.
The best Scream and Swing I have ever been on is at Cedar Point.
That is true. Well, I don't know. The one down at Dollywood's actually pretty good too. Just FYI.
The one at Silver Cities, yeah.
But to add something like a Scream and Swing, now of course you would have to have a level area that they can actually put on terra firma. So we would have to see a removal of some form of attraction. We're not going to sit here and say which one that we would like to see removed per se. However, I would love to see a Scream and Swing come to this park, Andrew. This is a park that has.
I see it working out.
Yeah, this is a park that has a lot of family attractions. They don't have a lot of major thrilling flat rides. The most thrilling, in my opinion, is probably the Double Shot. And other than that, Sky Coaster, of course. But with that in mind, I think that there's a good reason to put in a Scream and Swing. It brings more of a thrilling attraction to the park. It diversifies the portfolio, diversifies the product, and I'm not trying to be offensive here when I say it, but like, there are a lot of family, mild, thrilling attractions. I think that if we were to get one more thrilling attraction, like a Scream and Swing, I think that would really round out the whole entire flat ride package when it comes to Indiana Beach. What do you think, Andrew?
It would. I could see it being a good fit. I could see it being on the side of where was it? Expanding a little bit more into the parking lot. That way, I have enough room. But yeah, definitely would fit into the park. It wouldn't be too much to put in, and it's cheap.
Mm-hmm. Well, talking about the parking lot for a second, as a brief interlude, Indiana Beach is kind of compact. We were talking about this before in one of the other shows, that, Indiana Beach does not have a lot of space when it comes to terra firma. And I believe, in my opinion, that if they want to go and expand their park, just like I say for Cedar Point, they need to start buying property outside of the park to go and create a parking lot and maybe create a shuttle or tram system. This can definitely... Go ahead.
It was originally a kind of like Knoebels. You entered in and then you just pay for the rides.
Mm-hmm.
But then they switched it up to you have to pay to get in, which stopped the residents of the lake to come in and boat, and they were very frustrated about that.
Mm-hmm.
That was an issue they were having.
So I think, Andrew, to move on to our number 3 here, we're making actually pretty damn good time here. And I think we're going to take a lot more time with the next upcoming 3 items that we're looking at here. Why don't you go on ahead with number 3? Because this is something that you were really adamant about.
Yes, the reimagined Dark Ride. They have a older Dark Ride, Den of Thieves, I believe. Anyway, Den of Thieves it used to be a haunted house. It smells like a haunted house. You go through it. It fits one adult per car. That's totally inefficient for today. So, what you could do is expand the area. Maybe tear down that place and just remake it, since it's a kind of older place, or expand the car track it, or just do something with it. Maybe theme to pirates still, but make it where you don't have long lines for that.
Yeah, when you're
And make
talking...
it more advanced. It's such an old system. The guns didn't really work, so just work on that. That would help out a little bit, and it'll be something inside.
Yeah. Talking about dark rides for a second, I believe that a lot of your classic dark rides are actually some of the best ones out there. And I'm going to kind of go in a similar direction, but a little bit different. My opinion, I would like to see the dark ride be revamped, enhanced, with some animatronics and some, like you said, capacity problems. However,
as it is, it's pretty good. Just fix the capacity problem. We're good.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to get at, is that fact that I would not want to see a dark ride lose that antique touch, which I believe at all costs the park should try to maintain it at, any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that it's not maintained, but what I'm trying to get at here is the fact that with a attraction of, a classic style, I've seen POVs of Den of Lost Thieves. And I've seen photos of, items.
It smells like a haunted house, too. You can tell it's a haunted house.
Yeah, which, of course, it's a very classic attraction. If you go and just look it up online, you'll see a lot of photos of the attraction and all that.
We should talk about dark rides as well, where they also have a haunted house there called Dr. Frankenstein's Haunted House. Oh, Dr. Frankenstein's.
Mm-hmm.
What to do with that is a question as well. It was always a paid attraction.
Mm-hmm.
What to do? That's going forward, being a paid park and have a paid attraction like that. It's okay, but how long is that going to last with people not willing to pay even more to get in than pay even more to go to that?
Yeah, and
so
what my response is that, you have two haunted houses, right?
Yeah.
And, which, in all honesty,
and they're across from each other. You could literally, if you really wanted to, link it up and actually have an interesting system going on.
Yeah, which, that becomes a big giant question of, do you want to keep one as classic? And do you want to have another one as a modern? I think that would be the perfect solution, to have a classic attraction and a more modern attraction side by side.
That would work, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Have one more, kind of darkish, and have one kind of, more lighthearted, almost like what's that? I love Holiday World style.
Mm-hmm.
Or Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Metropolis is great too. Add something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe theme decor. It's in Indiana. Maybe have a farmer themed dark ride that's unique.
Yeah. Well, that's a part of Indiana Beach's iconography. Is that, in the middle of the cornfields, there's this beautiful theme park. There's more to Indiana than just corn. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
There's more than just corn in Indiana.
Yeah. So you have this.
That was the old one. I think they have a new one now.
That was a classic slogan for them. And in my opinion, if you're going to go for something like that, make it, you could have a horror theme with a, being in a cornfield. Make it a corn maze dark ride. That would be innovative, enhanced, modern, and refreshed. And it would.
That would actually be cool.
Yeah. It will be totally different. It will be 100% class. It would feel like a classic attraction. It would have the remodel of a modern, fresh attraction. Just a lot of stuff you could do with the dark ride. But moving on here to our number 2. Our second thing that we like to see before we get to number 1. Brand new water slide complex. Now, Andrew, I know that when I put that down, you kind of jeered a little bit, like, I don't like that.
Well, it's not so much I don't like it. There's not a lot of space in the water park.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're talking like a smaller slide complex to add more. But they have a speed slide.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 2 slide. So, I mean, you could add maybe a drop box, but the drop boxes would be... I don't know how much space a drop box would actually have to take.
So, here's my concept, right? When you go and look at the water park, you have one end that has water slides, and then there's like this little lake area with the beach, and then you've got like this little kiddie area. This little kiddie water pool area with the power tower. Take out the power tower, take out the kiddie area, and put in a brand new Pro Slide complex. You could have 2 or 3 different styles of slides that are modern and fresh for the park. You know, something that's totally different. You know, something that's not been seen before. Then you could go on ahead and say, okay, you could also add in 2 or 3 drop box body slides. You could easily have 6 slides on one complex and have them all run out into a similar splash pool. So,
at that point, where are you going to put the shot tower?
Well, just move the double shot to another location. They've got plenty of space. They got plenty of space. I don't think
they also have a water coaster in that area, a double water coaster in that area that you could ride either with your bathing suit or non-bathing suit in. It's funny. The double shot is technically in the water park section.
Yep. So that would move.
You're right. It doesn't seem to fit there.
Yeah. So that would move a hard park attraction to the hard park, and it would add it would add 6 water park attractions to the water park. Which, mind you could have a Whitewater West slide complex with similar slides. Same thing could be said for Pro Slide. I have a personal preference for Pro Slide because I like the mini funnels. I love
Pro Slide.
Which
Whitewater West is okay, but Pro Slide, oh my word!
Well, they're both pretty fine water slide manufacturers. The only problem is the fact if you're gonna veer out into the lake. You know, of course, I believe they will have to veer out into the lake, so that would be a lot of construction. However, I think that just in general, they've got the capacity, they've got the lineup, and they, in my opinion, they need...
They also have a natural beach. How is that going to affect the natural beach is the question.
I don't think it will. Then the area that we're talking about...
The natural beach is anything, but, you know.
Yeah.
That was the original attraction for Indiana Beach.
So I think that just in general, a water slide complex, one, it brings about brand new attractions to the water park. Fresh, modern, it's a new take, which, mind you, I don't really want to take away the original slides. While I think that it would be advantageous for them to do so, in my opinion, I don't think that it's a good idea because classic slides like that really do matter to me. They're very important. Of course, you've got...
Well, they get old enough, they're going to need replaced and all that. And it costs less to get new ones than replace them.
Yeah. Which, mind you, you could go and take out the original slide complex, put in something brand new, which that's okay. You could have 5 slides, put in 6. I don't really care, I don't really mind. But... For myself, this is something that the water park really needs because they do have slide quality and quantity, but they don't really have a lot of slide modernity. Modern slide complexes.
You're making up words now.
I am making up. I'm becoming Shakespeare. Modernity, to be modern, to be of a modern take. Anyways, this is something I think, Andrew, that the Gene Staples would probably understand very well, just due to the fact that, again, location. Indiana Beach, their main competitor in the state, is Holiday World, right? So, of course, it's going to be very difficult to compete with Holiday World. However, if you can have a water park, it's decent water park with a very nice beach, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good way to kind of say, hey, we've got something totally different here. We got something totally exciting, something that you're not going to see there. Which I think they definitely have the potential to do so, by the way. Just FYI. I do think they can create a water park
if they focus on more body slides, more so than tube slides, it would be better. They could emphasize the best body slides in Indiana.
They could. No offense to Holiday World. I love Holiday World too. I love them with the passion. But I would love to see another water park rise in Indiana, and adding a complex like that really does help. Really matters in my opinion. But Andrew, we got to move to number 1 here. And number 1 is something that you brought up that's been a rumor for a while. And
well, they talk about buying it, yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be a Schwarzkopf shuttle loop in Indiana at one point. Angola, Indiana, I believe. Near Fort Wayne, basically on the other side of the state. And they took that out. They're kind of old. I don't know if it's rumor, I don't know if it's real, but it might come back to Indiana through Indiana Beach. That's the case. Oh my word, I would want to ride it. If those people don't know what it is, basically, you sit on top, you go down, there's a loop, go up to the other side, go up, and then you do it backwards.
Yeah. It's a shuttle loop. Yeah.
Yep. And it's such a simple ride, very little space. Oh my word. That would be such a unique ride. I don't know of any in the world anymore. They took them out. So the maintenance for that would be, I don't know. With these Schwarzkopfs and everything, I don't know what the maintenance is like for Schwarzkopfs, but they're pretty. I tend to like Schwarzkopfs for the most part. So, oh my word, this happens, they would have Tigger, they would have a shuttle loop, and they would have the one from Mexico. Oh my word, that would be Schwarzkopf's. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be the Schwarzkopf capital of America right there.
Yeah, and you know, when there is very little space. Again, that's what we're talking about here. There's very little space, and you could probably maybe squeeze it right along East Indiana Beach Road. Now, I don't know whether or not, I don't know how far or how big Triple Loop's going to be.
They have a good distance away, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of things build up in the area, but if you know what you're doing, you could probably add a lot more space.
And I think that's the point. Adding space, getting space. That's the big thing for this park.
Because they have actually 2 parking lots. They have a parking lot north and south. The south is right next to the park by Still Hog, and you just walk in through there. I don't know if they changed it or not, but when I went, they had the north one. You walked across the bridge. So if you just suspended it or did like a double decker somehow in some way over on the north lot and use the south lot for more room, that almost work.
Yeah, and the thing about this park, again, just like Cedar Point, parking. If they were to move some of the parking from the resort, like this main area next to Steel Hog, if they were to be able to move all that parking space over to another location and have a tram system, I think that would work perfectly for the park. I think they've got the capacity to do so.
They do have a tram system for farther away parking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just use that. Use the farther away parking and just expand it. Get some more territory. And then just go and use that space to build more. I think a lot of people are looking at Indiana Beach the wrong way. I think that people are seeing that it is very condensed on the peninsula and the boardwalk. I think we need to quit looking at it as a condensed boardwalk. Rather, it's a boardwalk with room to expand. You've got the Indiana Beach parking down below, right next to the South Point, right? You've got parking up north. You've got the territory with extended parking. Just use that extended parking, find some other spaces. There's a huge giant cornfield on the opposite side of 225 at Schaefer. So, if you're able to some way or another pick up that territory, or maybe even create like an annex on the opposite side of the lake, and produce coasters out that way, and have a ferry system, I think this park has the capacity to grow and become a really big regional power.
It used to be huge, bigger than it was. Then it went downhill, and I think you add some unique rides in there and work on it. Indiana would be an interesting state.
Yeah.
You get Holiday World, and then you also have Indiana Beach. I think it'd still be regional and just have some interesting small parks. I love Indiana Beach as a whole. Contrary to some people, Cornball Express is one of my favorites. And the more I get to ride Steel Hog, I loved it. And actually, that was the first big roller coasters I ever been on was there. So it's very special to me in many ways. The only roller coaster I've not been able to get on is Lost Coaster Super Sister Mountain. And I heard bad things about that ride. So,
well,
but that's an interesting ride in itself with history.
Yeah.
If you know the history of that ride.
It's a CCI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually a slow mine train, and then they decided to make it into a mine train roller coaster.
Yeah. And
which is why it has an elevator lift and what it looks like there. And they actually have animatronics in there.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mention that, because that's a coaster that, in my opinion at least, is one of the more interesting crown jewels of the park. Indiana Beach, it has a lot of attractions. It has a lot of classic attractions. And I think that this, Cornball Express, Hoosier Hurricane, Steel Hog.
I'm not so much a fan of Hoosier Hurricane so much. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of slowish, and third, when you get underneath the bridge, it starts really jackhammering really hard. But Cornball Express for me, I could ride that thing over and over again. Well, I loved it.
The long and short is the fact that all these coasters that we're talking about, especially with Triple Loop, these are all special coasters to this park. You don't see...
and Tier Coaster, it can't really be found hardly anywhere else. There's maybe 2 or 3 in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it only has a seatbelt, but man, for how small it is, it packs a punch.
You don't see a lot of these coasters out and about. This is a park, and in all honesty, and I'm really saying this, and I really do mean it, I do believe that Indiana Beach, with the addition of Triple Loop, has become the special credit park. The unique credit park. The exotic park for coaster enthusiasts. Everyone talks about the Cedar Points and the Magic Mountains, and the Dollywoods. But here is a park right here, Andrew, that's building a brand new Schwarzkopf that has a lot of these iconic...
Well, it's not necessarily brand new, just moved. But
it's moved, but it's being refurbished. But, hear me out. This is a park that has a lot of these classic... foundational coasters that we all take for granted that really aren't around anymore. This is a park that I believe that we need to pay attention to more often, because this is a park that's making leaps and bounds now.
I also think it's one of the few parks with what's that game called? This is a game where you put the ball in and goes into a hole.
Skee ball?
I forget. They still have skee ball there.
Yeah.
That's very hard to find, unless you're talking Chuck E. Cheese's or stuff like that.
Andrew, if you're going to Chuck E. Cheese, we got a problem, buddy.
I remember going to Chuck E. Cheese's with that during school.
Yeah, well, not anymore. With that being said, Andrew, I think that we got a pretty solid top 5 things we like to see at Indiana Beach.
Yeah.
And Andrew, we said this at the beginning of the show, and I want to kind of round back out to it. Gene Staples has a vision. I believe, in all honesty, if it weren't for Gene Staples, I don't think they would have gotten a buyer. I think this park would have been DOA, dead on arrival, for at least a couple years. The original administration of the park was really terrible. They did not love on this park
if you're talking about the original one, it was originally a family park until it was sold to basically an RV park, and they just went into campground.
Yeah.
You're talking about the campground people. The family took amazing care of it.
Yep. And I think that Gene Staples brings back that family love for the park. He has a lot of great vision and potential with this park. From just seeing the purchase of Schwarzkopf, I'm excited to see what comes next. And again, like we were talking about before, Andrew,
all the coaster enthusiasts were like, "Oh my word!"
I know.
And maybe this could be another topic of another day. But there's one in, I think, there's a water park in Iowa or somewhere that's Kikurin or something.
Are you talking about Sioux Falls that is getting a RMC single rail?
Yeah, that's making a lot of news as well. So a lot of smaller parks are now competing against bigger parks with that.
Yeah, that one, I don't know where that's at right now. But what I can say is that I agree with you. Small parks are making a comeback. I think that we've seen the era of the chain. We've seen a lot of chain parks booming. I think we're finally getting to the point where these smaller parks like the Holiday Worlds, the Indiana Beaches, the Beach Bends, these smaller parks, which, mind you, each of them are unique in their own. But I think that we're going to really see the potential really grow out of these parks, really become fleshed out, and to become truly unique relics, not really relics, but rather national treasures that we should all cherish. Because I'm going to tell you what, Andrew, these smaller parks, I believe, are the lifeblood of the coaster industry. While I do love my Cedar Point, I do love Knott's Berry Farms, I love Dollywood, little parks like Holiday World and Indiana Beach, they really do. They give a different taste. They really have a different flavor, and I believe that it's the flavor that just makes you want to come on back. I really do.
Knoebels?
Well, I gotta go there. I might be going there this year. I don't know if the pandemic stuff. We gotta see how that pandemic stuff works, Andrew. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I loved making this with Andrew today. Andrew, thank you very much for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
If you guys haven't already, go check out our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our Discord, and as well our Gamerize. Gamerize is a other social media platform that we're now on. I'm really, really happy that we're on there because I actually know a lot of the things that go behind the creation and the formation. Their Discord is amazing. The developers love their work. They love what they're doing, and they really show it with how they interact with people. But we're over there now. We're on all those social medias. If you guys go and check out on our channel, go and check them out. As well, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the bell. That's the easiest way to stay in touch with what we're doing here at Slides to Coasters. As well, if you guys like the show, leave a like, and as well, comment down below. What would you guys like to see come into the future of Indiana Beach? I'm going for opening day 2021. I will be there. I know that Ryan, my good friend Ryan, was supposed to be going up. Maybe Andrew, maybe you can come on up sometime. Maybe you can go to Indiana Beach.
I'll go again for the Scorescoffs.
Yeah.
They're my favorite manufacturer.
Yeah.
Besides Intimate.
Oh, you had to throw
Incredible
that in
group.
there. You had to throw that in there. Okay. All right. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay tropical. Stay warm. It has been very cold up here in Cincinnati. I hope it's warm wherever you're at.
Cold? It's about 70 degrees
Oh,
here.
Andrew, stop it with the Florida man stuff. I will see you guys later. See you guys in the next one. Goodbye.